Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Sports Empire Network. My name is Freddie, and as you can see below me, this show's called Freddie Facts. I'm joined by my brother, the hardest working man in this industry. Hey, you'll see him on in the morning, you'll see him on in the afternoon, you'll see him on at night. There's a question that we've all been wondering: does this man ever sleep? This is Coach Dante. What's going on, Coach?
Man, what's going on, everybody, man? I don't know if I do sleep, man. I'm not sure if I do sleep, but like I say, anything I can do, man, to help out, I'm definitely here to do it. So I'm ready to get into the show.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought this certain individual was running from me. I thought he was ducking and diving and hiding from me. But, ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong. I want to welcome to the show Mo Money, Mo Better, my brother Mo. What's going on, Mo?
What's good, Freddie, Coach?
You
What's
know,
good, Mo? He thought you were ducking, man. He thought you were getting a pay. He thought you were ducking him, man.
Oh, I'm not built like that.
hey, Mo, I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna have to put a search warrant out for you, my brother. I thought I was gonna have to, especially all the stuff you was talking about on Coffee and Sports this morning. I'm just saying, just
I'm just
saying.
spitting facts,
That's debatable, but we're gonna start in the New York City into the Big Apple. My football team, the New York Giants. We all know last year they had an amazing season. Last year they had a season that nobody thought would have happened because Saquon Barkley was healthy, because Saquon Barkley was available, because Saquon Barkley was the best running back last year. Yes, you had Daniel Jones. Yes, you had that defense. Yes, you had the awesome coach. But ladies and gentlemen, let's not get it twisted. If we didn't have Saquon Barkley, we would have not. I'm going to repeat this again. We would have not been in the playoffs. He's due a contract, but for some reason, the Giants are not prioritizing Saquon Barkley. I understand that, some people say, oh, you don't pay the quarterback all that money. Screw it. If that's the only thing you have, you pay him the top dollar, the dollar above that. You do whatever you can do to keep a talent like Saquon Barkley. You took care of Daniel Jones. Coach, do you believe Saquon Barkley plays week one?
I believe he plays week one with the Giants, and I believe he will be getting paid soon. I say he was part of the reason why Daniel Jones didn't turn the ball over a lot last year, as much as he did, pretty much by them running the football and by him keeping Daniel Jones out of harm's way. I think Brian Daboll did a hell of a job of using his run game to the best of his ability and keeping Daniel Jones more safely and limit his turnovers by using the running game. So when Saquon Barkley was running the football, it limits the turnover disparity of Daniel Jones. It puts him in a lot of those read options in situations with Daniel Jones like the run. So got to give credit to Brian Daboll, but they will not be as good as they are if it ain't for Saquon Barkley, especially on the offensive side of the football. And I thought they won a lot of games last year by running the football, by having Saquon Barkley in that backfield, allowing them to do more and do a lot of that zone read, which was tough to stop Daniel Jones on until they end up playing the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoff. To the end, till he backfired in the playoffs, and they forced Daniel Jones to throw more when they keyed up on Saquon Barkley. But Saquon Barkley I think he's definitely going to play week one, and I definitely think he should be getting paid. I think he should definitely get paid. So I will see him in a Giant uniform week one.
You bring in a lot of great context into that, Coach. But in order for us to continue to be better than the Dallas Cowboys, we gonna need Saquon Barkley. Yeah, I said it. We gonna be better than the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboy fans are praying that Saquon Barkley do not sign his contract, because they know if we sign this contract, that we will be the number 2 in that division. I'm going to give all the glory, all the praise to the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the best team in that division. But behind them is the New York Giants. And to all the Cowboy fans, I see a few of them in the chat. You should know what your team's going to bring you. Year in, year out. Be the same old thing. But the Giants will be better. Mo, Sabino, it's not Cap. This ain't Cap.
He said Cap.
This ain't Caps. This Facts. Yeah. The show's called Freddie Facts, not Cap. Mo, will Saquon Barkley be the starting running back for the New York Giants?
He will be. I think they're going to hammer out a deal. They'll meet somewhere in the middle, but it's pivotal for the continued development of Daniel Jones that you have Saquon Barkley back there. He is the centerpiece of your offense. He is your best football player. Daniel Jones is the most important position. We all know it's a quarterback-driven league. But for him to continue to develop, Daniel Jones' best friend is a healthy Saquon Barkley. You've got to have Saquon Barkley back there. Coach alluded to the zone, the RPO, not to mention what Saquon Barkley does for the Giants out the backfield. He is a complete football player. And as long as he's on the field, it makes life easier for Daniel Jones. I don't think the Giants are the same team. Matter of fact, I know they're not the same team minus Saquon Barkley. So it's a necessity they hammer out a deal before the season starts.
Sabino, you're absolutely right. We need everybody that we can get. I'm going to tell you my prediction. There's a reason why DeAndre Hopkins haven't signed yet. Who says he don't go to the New York Giants? If he go to the New York Giants, Philadelphia need to get scared. Not saying the Giants are going to be better than them, but I said they need to get scared a little bit because that make them more dangerous. I'm just saying. But if I'm the Giants ownership, the management, there's no way we will be this long in the season, in the offseason, and this man not signed to a contract. Saquon Barkley isn't just an average running back. He's one of those special backs. He's one of those backs that you can just hand him the football and he'll make a play out of no play. Like he'll make a play that looks like it's broken and he'll make something out of it. He's that type of back. And he's one of a kind. And I just believe that if this is your guy, you need to go ahead and take care of it. And Key and Kyle, I see you in the comments, but I'm telling you right now, you're not afraid of him. I agree. You shouldn't be afraid of him. But if the New York Giants get DeAndre Hopkins, that changes things. The defense isn't going to get any worse. If anything, it's going to get better. Our line improved. The only weakness that the Giants really have is at the wide receiver position. That's really the only weakness. I know they got a couple up-and-coming studs, but, I mean, they haven't proven anything yet. And then this is a big year for Daniel Jones. Okay, Danny Dimes, you got the bag. But let's see if you're going to take that next step. We know you can run with the football. We've seen that ever since you came in the league. And last year, you probably had your best season. And just because you wasn't turning the football over as much. Yes, they fixed the turf. Kyle, yes, they did. We got new turf.
I want to add something else too. If Darren Waller can stay on the field, I think that's a friend for Daniel Jones that he can throw to. If Darren Waller can stay on the field,
second best friend.
Yeah, before Darren Waller got hurt, you was talking about him as at least a top 3 tight end in the NFL before he kind of checked out versus with the Las Vegas Raiders. So if you can get him on the field, he can be another guy that can be productive and help out that receiving core as well. But just got to give credit to Brian Daboll and how well he coached last year. That receiving core is they was beat up and battered. Like I was saying, I was getting to the point Sterling Shepard should retire because every time he gets hurt, it's literally a season-ending injury. It's always a season-ending injury when he gets hurt, and it's basically a non-contact injury pretty much. But Got to get a receivers credit too. They was able to make some plays in that Vikings game too. They made some hell of a plays. Hodgins and Slayton, they made some plays in that Vikings game, but they do need an extra receiver. But I just want to mention Darren Waller was a top 3 tight end. If he can get him stay on the field along with Saquon Barkley, I think the Giants offense can be respectable with him on the field.
But Coach, I agree with everything you just said. But it don't matter that you have that if you don't have Saquon Barkley. It don't matter. It don't matter. This man need to be on a contract. I don't care about Monday's the deadline. But screw Monday. We need to talk today. We need to get it done today. We need to get it done right now. Because without him, it's going to be another depressed year for Freddie. It's going to be a year where I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be hurt. Oh, I can't even imagine. Oh, man, I can't even imagine what I would go through. Please. I mean, if you're going to get anything right, get this right. Don't screw this up. I beg of you. I beg of you. From one New York fan to my team in New York, please don't get this wrong. We need this. We need this. Desmond, I see you in the comments. I've seen that you've been ducking me for some quite time now, sir. This is the perfect opportunity to come at you. You can't call nobody team sorry or nobody team sad when you pulled off a trade to get a Russell Wilson and you guys had the season that y'all had. I'm just saying you better hope Russ show up this year. I'm just saying. That y'all look pretty sad while my team was in the playoffs, which I guarantee you half the people in the chat had the Giants in the playoffs last year. I guarantee you that. Oh, okay. New coach, new system. I mean, hey, still the same player. Russ isn't a rookie. He's been in the league how long now? I don't want to hear it. You can stop that crying because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all.
Let's put on a bet. Golly.
What's the bet? Speaking of quarterback, Daniel Jones is there. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, he is an average quarterback. I mean, he's not Russell Wilson. I mean, if that's what you're trying to say, I'm not going to sit up here and say this dude is Russell Wilson. But all I'm saying is that, and if we want to be honest, Daniel Jones had a better year than Russell Wilson last year.
He did. He did.
I mean, do we want to speak on that, Daz?
He did. He had a better year than Russell Wilson.
I'm just saying. An average quarterback had a better season. And then, boom. Yeah, that's all you can say. True. All right, let's move to the next topic. We're going to talk about quarterbacks in the NFL. What quarterback to you is under the most pressure? Since we're talking about quarterbacks, I just want to know what quarterback is under the most pressure. Mo, we're going to start with you on this one.
I think it's Josh Allen. Buffalo's been touted as the team to beat. They've been predicted to make it to the conference championship the last couple of seasons, and they've come up short. And they've got the weapons on the outside. They've got weapons in the backfield that they don't use enough of. They've got talent on the defensive end of the ball, and they've come up short. And one of the main reasons they've come up short is their quarterback. He's inconsistent at the worst times. He's a turnover machine at the worst times. I think Josh Allen has the most pressure of anybody as far as being a quarterback coming into this season.
Coach?
So, Mo stole my pick. Stole my pick. Well, I've been picking Josh Allen, actually.
You have been.
Yeah, I've been picking Josh actually, but that's a good pick. You know what? I'm going to go with a wild card. And there's no excuses for this person to actually not be good and not fail with a bad division. Derek Carr. I'm gonna go with Derek Carr. There's no excuses for Derek Carr to fail in a weak NFC South when your team has a top 5 elite defense. You have outside of Devontae Adams, you have probably one of the upcoming wide receivers in Chris Olave. You also do have Michael Thomas coming back from injury with a full year. You did Alvin Kamara. Yes, he's in some trouble, but you did get Jamal Williams. You did actually gain him, who had a big season with the Detroit Lions, and this will be his first time playing with a top 5 defense and elite defense. So it's no excuses for Derek Carr. He's in a very good situation. His defense will be able to force turnovers, get him some opportunities to drive down the field. He has to deliver. It's too bad everybody's saying that he had the best receiver and still can't get it done, and rightfully so. But also that Raiders defense was so bad, but he was so bad last year, even with Devontae Adams, that Josh McDaniels didn't even want him. He sat him out the rest of the season, and now this is his time. He got his money. Went to New Orleans in a better situation. What a great defense. He has to get the job done, and he has to win this division. So it'll be no excuse for Derek Carr to fail in New Orleans with a top 5 elite defense.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for your support and all that good stuff. But let's just say this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to talk about Dakota Prescott.
Oh, no.
It's time. So Dakota Prescott, you play for the America's team. A team that has bent over backwards. That have bent over backwards for you. A team that has done everything at your will. I remember when it was just Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. Remember they had no receivers? What did they do? They traded for Amari Cooper. They got Gallup. They brought on all these weapons for Dak. They've done something that we've been begging the Ravens to do for Lamar Jackson. Get that man some help on the offensive side of the ball. But for some reason, Dak Prescott cannot deliver. But for some reason, Dak Prescott come up short all the time. But for some reason, there's always an excuse with this franchise. It comes a time where Dak Prescott has to be under the gun. Either you're that quarterback or you not. I mean, last year he probably had his worst season of his career, turning the ball over as much as he did. I mean, he looked like another version of Eli Manning. As much as he turned that football over. I'm just saying. It comes upon a time where America's team is going to have to hold him accountable. You see, Sabino is in the comments defending America's team instead of critiquing America's team. Bino, my brother, I know you're not old enough to realize this. I know you're not old enough to realize this, but America's team is fraudulent. Just saying.
That's crazy.
Do you disagree?
No, I don't disagree. He's been on a lot of fire. He's been up on a lot of fire. I don't disagree with that. I think everybody made some good suggestions. I just happen to put Derek Carr in there because the Raiders were a bad football team overall last year. But we got a bad NFC South. Bryce Young is arguably, outside of Desmond Ridder, who hasn't really proved too much. And now you got a quarterback competition in Tampa Bay between Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield. No excuses for Derek Carr. He has to. They at least have to win this division. I think they're the better team in this division. You got to win this division. It should be no excuses for Carolina or Tampa Bay or somehow the Falcons to win this division. It should be no excuses by Derek. It should be no excuses for Derek Carr with you being in a better situation, especially with an elite defense.
I'm just saying.
Somebody should have said Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's up there. He would have been my next pick.
Somebody should have said Russell Wilson.
I really want to just to get Dez going. I mean, I really wanted to
Yeah.
just to get Dez going. I
But,
mean, hey, I mean, I'm just. Oh, he's talking about. He said it. Okay, well, at least you said it.
hey, at
'Cause
least you said it
I'm
because
gonna tell you. if
hey,
he
you
ever-
got your offensive coordinator now. You got your offensive coordinator. You got your head coach. You got your head coach now. Hey,
I'm just saying, if they have another bad year, then we might be thinking of Russell Wilson a lot different than we normally would. 'Cause I'm just saying, let's not. 'Cause we had Russell Wilson in the same category as the elite quarterbacks. That's kind of died down now. I'm just saying. But we're talking about pressure. I'm going to talk about a shooting guard that got drafted by the Utah Jazz. I want to talk about a guy that is known to elevate his game in the playoffs, to go into a whole different situation. Even though he have a great season in the playoffs, he have even though he have a good season in the regular season, in the playoffs he normally be much better. We're going to talk about Donovan Mitchell. And, when he's in Utah, we gave him excuses. We said, oh, just because he's in Utah, can't get nobody to play with him in Utah. He's playing with French fry. He's doing this, doing that. But now he's in Cleveland. And he has talent around him. Mobley, Garland, Allen. I mean, they have pieces around them. They just had a great free agency, brought in more shooting. Is this the year that Donovan Mitchell be under the most pressure in his career, Dante?
yeah, I think this is the year, and rightfully so. Like I say, I give him a pass on Utah because you look at every one of those series in Utah. He played well. He played well. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't his problem. He showed up and he scored, especially when they played against Denver in the bubble. He did all he could do. The other guys just didn't step up, and Rudy Gobert became a problem for us guarding the perimeter side of the ball. That's when he became a problem in the paint. Rudy Gobert is going to be the best player, on the defense depending on the matchup. But when he has to get outside of the paint, that's when you can exploit Rudy Gobert's game right there. That's where you can exploit him and make him come out and guard somebody. But so, yes, Donovan Mitchell did get a pass on Utah because he played well in each and every series. He even beat Oklahoma City down there by himself in a series. He even beat them. But yes, this year, no excuse for Donovan Mitchell. He does have a better team than he had in Utah. He does have Jared Allen, who emerged. He does have Karis LeVert, who can come off the bench and score. He does have Darius Garland in the backcourt with him, and especially the way the East is. You just got right now. You just have Milwaukee. You do have Miami. You do have Miami. You have Boston. As of right now, those are the three I would say that's contenders, and everything else is wide open. Everything else literally is wide open. The Knicks are a playoff team. Philadelphia is a playoff team. Nothing more than the playoff team. And the bottom of the East is just a mess overall. Indiana is an upcoming team. Now, Indiana, I'm gonna give them credit. They're an upcoming team. I believe they will be competing this year. They will make the playoffs. Other than that, because I like the way that Indiana team is constructed right now. But yeah, it's no excuses for Donovan Mitchell. He has to at least get to the Western Conference Finals. He's either losing in the first round or the second round. You got to get over that hump. You got to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals, at least.
All right, Mo.
So I think he has pressure. He definitely has pressure because he is the face of that franchise right now. But if you look at their roster construction, it's not that different from Utah. In Jared Allen, you've got a center who can only be effective in the restricted area. He's a zero range player. And as much as I love Evan Mobley, and I like him a lot, and he's up and coming, he doesn't shoot from range. So you start, two of your bigs are only effective in the restricted area. It's one of the reasons why the Knicks were able to beat them so easy. Their roster construction is flawed. You've got Darius Garland. He can create off the dribble. He can shoot with range. He's deadly in pick and roll. But the guy that plays at the three, you have no answer there. Sometimes they have Isaac Okoro playing the three, but he's an inconsistent shooter and an inconsistent defender. They need a 3-and-D guy who can get buckets, and they haven't added that. I know they added Max Strus, but I think Strus is more of a backup 2. I don't think Max Strus is enough for Cleveland to get pushed over the hump. You're not changing your roster construction. I think they're going to have to make an adjustment and stagger Allen and Mobley's minutes. The two of them on the floor in a playoff series, you're helping the defense out. The Knicks were able to double team both Garland and Mitchell because those two guys are only effective in one area of the floor. So they're going to have to find a way to stagger their minutes and get more shooting on the floor. Donovan Mitchell has pressure, but I don't think he has pressure to make the conference finals because the roster construction, they're not built to make the conference finals.
I mean, Karis LeVert. I mean, Matt Strus is going to start. My excuse is going to start. I'm going to put it like this. You're not going to pay him $64 million just to come sit on the bench for you. You're not going to do that. And plus, he's been a part of the finals team. I do believe this Cleveland team is better than Utah's team. I do believe this team
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I do believe this team is better. But I also believe the way the Eastern Conference is built and the bottom of the Eastern Conference not being as good, you have a path to the Eastern Conference Finals. I believe in that. Like I say, once you get past that first round, that's when it gets tough right now. Depending on the matchup, your matchup in the first round. Once you get past that first round, if you got to go up against Boston or Milwaukee or someone like that, then that's when the pressure's starting to come. That's when the pressure can start. We can argue if they're better than the New York Knicks, which is as of right now, I wouldn't put them better than the New York Knicks because New York Knicks already beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they can beat them.
So I don't think they're better, but I believe they are a legit 4 or 5 seed. They could be a legit 4 or 5 seed. It's just a matchup on who they will play in the first round of that matchup. But Matt Strus is an upgrade over Isaac Okoro. Isaac Okoro can't shoot at all. He can't. If I was the basketball, he couldn't shoot me in the basketball goal. He couldn't shoot me in the basketball goal at all. But other than that, yeah, he is an upgrade over Isaac Okoro. That's something they desperately needed is shooting.
I'm gonna piggyback off. Oh my bad.
Go ahead, Fred.
I'm gonna piggyback off what Mo said. I believe the Cavs will trade Jared Allen. They'll stick Mobley at that 5, and they'll go out and get maybe like some wings, 3-and-D guys that can help space the floor to make things a lot easier for Donovan Mitchell, Garland, even Mobley, because we've seen flashes of Mobley last year when they played him at the 5 that he can hold his ground. Maybe they'll pick up another big to come off the bench, but I believe that they have to trade Jared Allen to unlock that team, especially when you bring in shooting with the guys they have around them now. That's just my opinion.
And I like Jared Allen. He's a very good player, but I don't think you can play him and Mobley extensive minutes in the playoffs. You're just giving up to the spacing issues are so obvious when they're both on the floor.
It was bad rotations consistently, though. You cannot have Isaac Okoro on the floor along with Jared Allen. That's 2 people that's 2 people that they can play off of. And you don't even got to worry about Isaac Okoro even making shots. That was JB Bickerstaff played a bad rotation, playing Jared Allen and playing Okoro on the floor. Now, I'm going to give this to Evan Mobley. He does show some stability to shoot. He shows it, but he just doesn't make it as consistently. I believe he shoots by at least 35% from the 3, so he shows some stability to shoot. But with Jared Allen on the floor and Isaac Okoro, that lineup is not going to work. So I'm glad they got George Niang also who can shoot. So that's something that hurted them in the playoffs, and they fixed that in the offseason. So
that's what's interesting. They picked up Niang, and he's okay. But I think they should have valued somebody like Christian Wood more than Niang. He's 6'10" with range, and he can put the ball on the floor. Like, Niang looked like a short order cook. I wouldn't have brought him in. I don't think he's I think he's a good bench player. I don't think he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's gonna come off the bench, but he can shoot. That's something they actually need. Christian Wood can put up points, but he's terrible on defense. He's bad, really bad on defense.
Shh, Mo. Wood's going somewhere else. I'm not gonna say the team.
He didn't say the Lakers. He didn't say the Lakers. I already knew it. I already know, Mo. He didn't say the Lakers, Mo.
I'm just saying he's going somewhere else. I didn't say that you said that, Coach. I didn't say that, so I don't want. Hey, I'm just saying.
Hold on. Gene said Wood is not a good perimeter shooter. He shoots 37% from the 3. He can't shoot.
Yeah,
he shoots 37%. He's a good shooter from 3.
Kyle said I agree that he can argue that Julius Randle have more pressure than Donovan Mitchell. Hey, we agree, Kyle. I absolutely agree with that, but I'm just saying that it's time for Donovan Mitchell to get some credit.
Traded.
It's time for Donovan Mitchell to get criticized because I mean we saved him. We patted him on his back when he was in Utah. We commended this guy for thank you for giving us y'all in the playoffs. But this year in the playoffs, you wet the bed. I'm just saying that we didn't expect that out of Donovan Mitchell. We expected the Donovan Mitchell in Utah, going out there giving you 50 if needed and just elevating in the playoffs. That's what I'm talking about. Not saying that Donovan Mitchell is a bad player or not, because we all know what Donovan Mitchell brings to a team. But I'm just saying he had an off year last year. And it could be because he's on a new team, getting adjusted to new players and all, but I'm just saying it's time to hold him accountable.
Yeah. I mean, and like Coach said, look, give the Knicks credit. They took advantage of the lineups that were on the floor in the playoffs versus the Cavs. It was easy to double Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland with the other three guys they had on the floor. They just didn't have any shooters.
And now that they have the shooters, we should see the real Donovan Mitchell. And hey, I'm just saying they was one of the teams that had a great offseason, in my opinion. And I think they're still adding to the team. I do believe I believe a Jared Allen will be traded. And I will say
he's been in some trade talks too, though. He has been in some trade talks.
And I will, yeah. I mean, they get a wing, stretch out wing, another two. That changes things for them. I'm just saying. Let's move it to the next player. Let's head down to Philadelphia. We're gonna talk about Dante's former player on his team on the Houston Rockets, but unfortunately, he's not the same James Harden anymore. We're going to talk about the beard. We all know where he's at now. It's at a standstill. We don't know if he'll get traded. We don't know if he'll stay. We're all trying to wait. We're all trying to find out where will James Harden go. I'm just saying. I look like I found the key. So, if you notice, I found the key to turn something out. But let's be honest. Should James Harden really leave? I do not see an option for James Harden that's going to help him win a championship other than Philadelphia. I don't see it. People are talking, if we go to the Clippers. What? To me, that makes the Clippers worse. That makes them worse, in my opinion.
It does. It does. They got to lose that depth. It does.
You get rid of your depth?
Yep. It does make them worse.
And you said, we got James Harden? I mean, I guess if you need a guy to put up 30 points and Kawhi Leonard miss half the season, I guess, which you probably will do. I don't like the fit. I think the Clippers right now constructed is a good team. Why would Jerry West condone a mess like that? I have no idea. But if I'm the Philadelphia, yes, they will benefit from the trade from getting those role players.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Philly should try to make that deal tonight.
Yeah.
Because you bring in a whole bunch of role players, the guys that know their role, that's going to play their role. You add toughness. You add 3-and-D guys. I like that. That's good for Philadelphia. You have up-and-coming Maxey that can fill the void of James Harden. But James Harden, I just wanted to ask you this, sir. What are you playing for? Because clearly the reason why you left Houston is to leave to go play for a team that win championships. You wanted to go to Philadelphia first, but they sent you to Brooklyn. Then they sent you to Philadelphia. If it wasn't about championships, you should have stayed in Houston. The city loved you. But the best place for James Harden to win a championship right now is the 76ers. They're loaded. But I say they're loaded. They have pieces. They have Maxey. You have Tobias Harris, who a lot of Sixers fans like to jump down this man's throat, but he had a good season this year. You still have Joel Embiid, the MVP of the league. And I don't hear nobody criticizing him.
Yup.
Yes, James Harden had some bad playoff moments, but he had some great ones too. He won a couple games for you this playoffs. But what about Joel Embiid, where we was looking for him? Where you at? Can't be found. I'm just saying. They brought in Mo Bamba. You got Montrezl Harrell.
Mo Bamba.
I'm just saying they got Mo
I wouldn't brag
Bamba.
about Mo Bamba.
Hey, and let's not forget they got their Magic Johnson. They got their Irving Magic Johnson. They got their Isaiah Thomas. They got their Stockton.
Who's that?
You don't know who?
Not Pat Bev.
Pat Bev. They got that guy. I mean, I'm just saying.
He'll help them. He'll help them.
I love the move for him. You know why? That he's going to get under Joel Embiid's skin. That Joel Embiid's not going to be able to be soft. That he's not going to be able to play soft. That he's going to expect the best out of him every day, every game, especially in the playoffs. James, get out your feelings. I'm pretty sure the dude wanted to go out and get paid because he probably feel like he deserved top-notch money. But you're not that guy anymore, James. And the James Harden they don't need the Houston Rockets James Harden. They don't need that James Harden. They need the James Harden that was in Brooklyn. That was just okay giving you 20 points. But I'm going to give you 10 or 12 assists as well. That's the James Harden they need. Let Maxey grow in his role. Let Maxey take lead in that role.
No, I agree. I think Maxey's just going to continue in his development. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he averaged around 25, 26 points a game this season. They don't need the scorer Harden. They need the facilitator Harden. But they do need Harden when he does shoot. They need him to be a more efficient shooter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just don't see – I'm talking about in James Harden's aspect. I don't see there's no team out there that fits him best than the Philly. I don't like to move to the Clippers. I'm just trying to say if you're trying to win a championship.
You would like it if you're a Sixer fan. You would like that move because you would get back a gang load of players who could immediately help your team.
No, you're absolutely right. If you're Philadelphia, you love it. But I'm starting to question what is Jerry West doing now? Even thinking about doing a decision like that.
For him to be considering it, I think it does have something to do with the fact. Don't forget, Freddie, they're moving into a new arena. And you know how that goes. When you move into a new arena, you want to put people in seats. You got to have names. You got to have stars. So I don't know if they're thinking about winning more than they're thinking about revenue.
Hey, I'm going to say this. And Gene said, who's their point guard? I'll take Russ over James Harden for that team any day. Russ fit that team much better. We've seen the moment that Russell Westbrook entered into that locker room, he changed the culture. That team, he lit a fire. That team was dead. That team was done. But the moment Russ got there, his energy was effective. Even Paul George said this on his podcast. He said that this dude lit a fire under our team. James Harden and Russ are just almost about the same player round about now. In
some ways, and I just, because they are the same player, it doesn't make sense for the Clippers to bring in James Harden, right? If they have similar skill sets at this stage in their careers. If you're the Clippers and you saw what Russ did at the end of the season, going into the playoffs, I think Russ kind of like reestablished himself as a player that can still help a team win. And he's with the perfect coach because Tyronn Lue can hold him accountable when he's not playing right, sit him down, and Russ won't lose his mind because he respects Ty Lue. So I love that fit. In the bigger picture, I don't see why you would make the James Harden move if you're a Clipper fan or if you work in the Clippers front office. I understand the new arena, but if you want to go with stars, you've got Kawhi, you've got Paul George. I just don't understand the benefits of bringing in a James Harden, especially since you brought Russ back. I don't know why you would do that.
And just I want to touch on the little point that you brought up, Mo. I'm going to say this right here. You said, because they got a new arena and they're trying to fill the seats. It will never be filled, no matter who they bring in. They are the Clippers, and the Clippers are going to be clipping. That's what they do. You can't trust a Clipper. The only time you can trust a Clipper, my brother, is what I'm going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get me a haircut, and he's going to put them Clippers on. That's the only time I can trust them. Other than that, you cannot trust them. They don't, It's so bad. There's been many of times, most especially in the last 20 years, where the Clippers was better than the Lakers. Let's just be honest. But that city have always still been a Laker town.
No question.
It don't matter about the arena. I mean, it's just bad that I love Ballmer. I would love for him to be the owner for the Lakers. I love him. That man, he brings energy. He brings in, he's not afraid to spend money. He's not afraid to, I love that about him. But he's just in the wrong team. And yes, they beat the Lakers how many times? I don't care, but it don't matter. It's still not a Laker. That's still not a Clipper town. Nobody cares because they're still irrelevant. They put up Taylor Swift banners to cover up our championship banners for our crowd out loud. I mean, it's that bad. I mean, and they've had in the last 20 years, they probably have had throughout a franchise, they've had so much talent to come in and out of that organization.
But they've won no titles. So
they curse.
So their best years would be the Chris Paul years with Blake Griffin and company, but that didn't really result in any championships. Like their claim to fame during that time period was they were better than the Lakers, and they beat the Lakers, which is a factual statement. But ultimately, because they're the Clippers, being the Clippers, they still didn't win anything.
And it's funny that I found funny that people talks about the Lakers making the Western Conference Finals. But all year long, they were saying that this team was not even a play-in team. But they make it to the Western Conference, and all they can say, oh, you happy just made it to the Western Conference? We made it further than your team. I'm happy with the development of my team. I'm happy with the growth of my team. It gives me inspiration to know that, hey, when LeBron and AD leave, we do have a few young pieces now. We have our team don't look in a dark hole anymore. Because at one point, me and Mo was looking, all we could see is black. It was a tunnel. It was nothing but black. We didn't see nothing.
Give Rob Pelinka a lot of credit. He did well. He's done well over the last couple of seasons. I give him a lot of credit for that.
I'm not talking about you, Kyle. I'm talking about the person above you. We might have got swept, but we still made it further than the Sixers team. I guarantee, I would like to do a poll around the world. I guarantee you, if you had a poll of the Sixers and the Lakers, who would make it to the Western Conference or who would make it to this team, I guarantee you people had the Sixers going to the conference finals before they had the Lakers. Because that team was horrible. That team was not constructed correctly. But I understand teams that's been irrelevant for 40 years, they would feel that way. A team that's been trusting the process all their lives, they'll believe in things like that. I understand it. I'm not going to scoop into the basement's level because that's what y'all are, the basement to the Lakers. Yes, the Denver Nuggets swept the Lakers. I agree, Dez. Hey, but remember, 25-8. That's the record. We beat y'all 25 times in the playoffs to your 8. I understand. I'm just saying. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Nikola Jokic. I love me some Jokic. I love Jamal Murray.
Oh, yeah.
KCP. I love him. Michael Porter Jr., you got a good squad, Dez. I'm not saying you don't. But what I'm saying is, let's not sit up here and act like Denver Nuggets the Denver Nuggets had a horrible offseason this year. You lost 2 key pieces to your team. Bruce Brown, who's a big part of that team. Jeff Green brought the veteran experience. He spaced the floor. He still gives you something. And they just left. Mike Malone talking about we ain't losing Bruce Brown. Hello. I understand he might have had a few too many drinks.
I was going to say he wasn't sober when he said that.
You might have had too much to drink. I'm just saying. So, Des, don't come at me, sir, because I have time. I have nothing but time. I hear the people. You know what? Let's talk about it. Mo, you made a comment earlier. I'm not going to talk about. I have a question for y'all. I want to talk about all-time great Lakers. I want to see if we all agree on this list. I want the top 5 Lakers of all time. Top 5. Coach, I'm gonna let you go first. Just gonna give time for Mo, because Mo.
Already got my 5.
No, Mo. No.
I already got my 5.
No, Mo. Think about it.
No, I don't need to. I got my 5.
Mo, go first. Give us your top 5 Laker team.
The top 5 Lakers of all time?
Of all time.
It's Magic.
Uh,
What are you on for? It starts with Magic. It starts with Magic, Kareem. It starts with Magic. It starts with Kareem. Kobe. Are you not paying attention?
I can't. It's hard.
I know you struggle with actual facts, Freddie, but I'm just giving them to you. If you don't start with Magic and Kareem, you're not actually a Laker fan. You're a Kobe fan.
There you go.
I'm a Laker fan. You're a Kobe fan. There's a difference. So I don't get caught up in my favorite player. I'm talking about the greatest players for my favorite team. Kobe's in the list, but I'm being factual. It starts with Magic and Kareem. You could throw Kobe at 3. I would throw Shaq at 4. I would toss it up. Between Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. I'm not going to put Wilt on there because I thought Wilt's greatest years were before he became a Laker. He won a title there, but he's not in one of the greatest Lakers. Jerry West is a greater Laker than Wilt Chamberlain is.
Listen.
You about to mess up the list, man. Don't mess the list.
Listen. It's no way, no how. I'm going to have Irvin Magic Johnson number 1. And I love Magic.
You were GM, you'd be fired.
I love Magic Johnson. I know what Magic brings to the team. But if we're talking about all-time great Lakers?
We said all-time great Lakers.
It's Kobe number 1. Do you realize?
What happened to my camera?
Man, Freddie, that take was so bad it made Mo camera go out of there.
Do you realize
it did go out?
Do you realize what Kobe done for the Lakers organization? Do you realize what that organization put him through, especially later on in his career? Do you realize the team that he had to put on his back, the 20 years in LA? Do you realize of him as a young pup when Shaq fouled out in Indiana, who he came to, hey, I got it, and he delivered? Do you realize the teammates that Irvin Magic Johnson played with? This dude played with an all-star lineup. An all-star lineup. People say, oh, Magic, he didn't have to score. He didn't have to. He played with the guys that could do it for him. All he had to do was give him the basketball. But to sit up here and say that Kobe's not number 1?
He's not number 1. He's not even number 2.
Mo,
he's number 3.
Mo, I don't know.
You're giving a long speech about what he did as a young pup. He did it as a young pup with Shaq when Shaq was in his prime, dominant. So that young pup had Shaq as a safety valve. Great player.
And who did Kareem have a safety valve?
Here's the difference, though. Magic walked into the league as a rookie and as a Finals MVP. How long was it before Kobe became a Finals MVP?
Well, Mo, let's speak about it.
It's been a minute, right? It was a minute, right?
Mo, let's speak about it.
Long time, right?
Mo, let's speak about it. Kobe came out as a kid, as he was wet behind the ears, Similac on the breath, came out at 18 years old from the high school, sir. High school.
That's a personal decision. He could have went to college. That's a personal decision.
But guess what? Even though that he didn't get the extra training like Kareem, how he stayed multiple years in college, even though he didn't have this training, just like Irvin Magic Johnson, because he went to college, he still elevated the Lakers. He still dominated the league. He still is a 5-time champion. That's why he's number 1 on my list.
He's a 5-time champion in a 20-year career. Magic's a 5-time champion in a 12-year career. Magic went to 9 more finals. You know what Magic's responsible for? This is how you talk about greatness. Magic is directly responsible for saving basketball, for saving the NBA. If Magic doesn't do what Magic does, there is no Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant would be overseas playing soccer if Magic doesn't come along.
Mo, we're not talking about what Magic did for the NBA. We talking about for the Lakers.
Did he do it for the Lakers? When he did it for the NBA, what banner was he rocking? He was a Laker.
You might be right, Mo, about that. But what I'm talking about,
don't leave out Magic's a 3-time Finals MVP, a 3-time regular season MVP. How many MVPs Kobe got?
Man, can I ask you a question?
Did he get any more than the one? Because I know he got one.
He only have one. Can I ask? No, he has two of them. He has two.
No, he don't. He got one. Don't try to add on.
No, he had the final MVP when he won in
right. A Finals MVP and a regular season. He's got 2 Finals MVP and 1 regular season.
Well, he got cheated. You know he got cheated.
You don't cheated.
He got cheated by Steve Nash. You know he did.
You can't win 45 games, be the MVP.
You know he got cheated by Steve Nash.
You can't win 45 games and win MVP, man.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that. But
they were doing that same thing, and you know it, Coach. They were doing the best player on the team with the best record.
With the best record at that time.
Steve Nash not the best player on the team with the best record.
If you was AC at that time, you wasn't getting MVP.
So let me ask you.
You were not getting MVP with the AC.
So let me ask you a question. Didn't Shaq get cheated? Didn't Shaq get cheated?
From who?
From Steve Nash.
Shaq played with Kobe Bryant, and Steve Nash outdid them both. How do you have a better record than both of them combined?
No, I do not understand.
Steve Nash. Hey, Coach, this is where I'm going to get him. You forget, Steve Nash, that second MVP, Amari Stoudemire missed the whole year. Steve Nash turned Boris Diaw into a double-double guy. That's why he got MVP.
I don't understand what his hate
Boris Diaw became a double-double guy.
No, hate for Kobe.
Hold on, Coach. I don't understand where this hate from Kobe comes from, but you hate the man. You hate him. But
I hate him.
Yes,
why do I hate him? Wait, think about this. Again, when we talk about the all-time greatest players in the history of basketball, I got Kobe in the top 10. I got him 6. That's hate. That's not hate.
To say that Steve Nash was better than Kobe that year is
I didn't say he was. I didn't say
he was better. He said he elevated the team. The team was elevated because of Steve Nash, and that team was elevated because
I don't care about. Okay, let's talk about it, Mo. Let's go back to the original conversation. The teammates. Who did Magic Johnson play for? They won the finals and cried out loud. They got James Worthy.
Did it again.
They got James Worthy. I'm just saying that this team was stacked. It's not even talking about Michael Cooper. This still not talking about Michael Thompson. And we haven't even got to the Kareem. This team was stacked. Kobe did not come in. Yes, his first younger years, he had Shaq, he had Rick Fox, he had a squad around him. He had a squad around him. But after that, there was some down years with Kobe. Kobe had to struggle because the Lakers organization was not able to put talent around that man. Smush Parker was on this team for crying. Conway Brown was the teammate crying out loud, Bo.
Last time I checked, Freddie, Kobe got his way. He can always say he didn't have nothing to do with it. He didn't want to play with Shaq no more. He got his wish. He got his own team, and he got his wish. What I remember is that first year, they had Lamar Odom and Caron Butler. They weren't scrubs. They just happened to not be a really good team. That's Kobe got his wish. He wanted to be the man, and he was the man. And for a couple of years while he was the man, we were bottom feeders.
Hey, it's a point I gotta make about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. After he won that first year with the Milwaukee Bucks, you know what happened to Kareem ever since then? His team started plummeting to the point that he got frustrated. You know who he went over there and joined? Magic Johnson. He wanted to go play with Magic Johnson. He wanted to go play with the Lakers. Yes, he did. He got frustrated. After he won the first championship with Milwaukee, the team was nowhere near good, and he ended up going to the Lakers.
Dante, listen.
He was already a Laker.
No, I'm
talking about with the Bucks. His first stint was with the Bucks.
I know, but he was a Laker before Magic got there. Like, don't forget, Kareem took the Bucks to the finals multiple times. They just only won it once.
And let's not forget this, that Magic and Kareem, they wasn't always as close to buddy when they was teammates as well. So he didn't like how Magic, because Magic was he had more of a personality and charisma and all that.
Magic came in the game dominant. Magic came in the game dominant.
They didn't have to be friends. They won.
Dominant.
Hey, they won. They didn't have to be friends.
Kobe won too, and he didn't have the amount of teammates as Magic did.
Zach was just a regular guy.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Mo. And I'm gonna go to my number 2 after this. Teammates don't matter. Who you play with don't matter.
Who you play with matters. Who you play against matters as well.
You're absolutely right.
Who you play against matters as well.
So you mean outside of Shaq and Pau Gasol, Kobe played with very good role players. Okay. Magic played with guys who could be a number 1 on any other team.
Kareem was a number 1. No argument there.
So what are we talking about?
Right, but I said, who you played against matters. They played against Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge. Those were stacked squads as well. So don't act like it was lopsided.
They against Michael Jordan.
It was lopsided.
They were playing against other legends. You know what I'm saying?
It was lopsided, bro. Magic had teammates that could be number 1 options on teams. Number 1.
Brought something
I
for
don't
Freddie.
know. The one that was a number 1 option was Kareem.
I brought something for Freddie.
Oh, put it on. Put it on.
Hey, might he put it on you, Mo?
Put it on. Put it on.
I got 2 questions. I just hopped on here. I got home from work. I just hopped on here. I got 2 questions. Number 1, greatest player versus greatest Laker are 2 different statements.
Sure.
So I agree with Mo that Magic is the greatest Laker. I think Kobe was a greater player. So, I think that's how you break that down as a whole. If I had to break it down just Lakers, it would go Magic, Kobe, Kareem, not as far as greatest Lakers. It's Magic, Kobe, Kareem, Jerry West, Shaq. That's the 5. But based off greatest players, I have it Kareem, Kobe, Magic. I have Magic 3rd in that bunch as far as who is greater.
Right. And I feel you.
And it's to Mo's point that Magic and Bird saved the NBA. It's the truth. They basically the early 80s, the mid 80s were basketball skyrocketed. And then right after that, the greatest player of all time came in and took it to another level. So Coach is right.
I'm sorry. Magic and Bird, that's more on the NBA level. I respect what they did because they definitely changed the game. It changed the perception of the
Freddie,
game.
Did you hear that? You hear that second part? Right after that, the greatest player of all time took it to another level. That guy.
Who? Michael Jordan?
No, Michael Jordan. No, Gene told you who it was. He told you.
But all I'm saying is 20 years for the same organization, it means something. It means a lot. And
I don't disagree.
Hold on, Mo.
I don't disagree at all.
And Magic was he was blessed, man, because he didn't have to go through the things that Kobe had to go through. Let's not sit there and act like that's not a thing. This dude walked into an all-star lineup. That matters. That matters. Yes, Kobe played with Shaq, the most unstoppable big man, the most dominated big man in basketball.
Magic played with Kareem, who was greater.
Exactly. Kareem, Michael Thompson, Michael Cooper, James Worthy. They had guys all around Magic. That's not discrediting Magic, but Magic did not have to put up with the downs just like Kobe did.
Are you trying to argue that the 90s, 2000, early 2000 Lakers were better than Showtime?
No, what I'm saying is if you look at
who was the leader of Showtime, Freddie?
Magic.
Okay. So they had the greater team. And Magic led the team. Did Magic make his teammates better?
Absolutely.
Did Kobe?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. There's many guys. Yes, he did. There's many guys.
I love Kobe, bro. Look what's on my wall.
No.
Look what's on my wall.
See, this is the same thing they try to do to LeBron. It might not be the way Magic did it, but it's leadership. The way Kobe did it was different. The way Magic did it, bro. I'm just saying, Kobe was not that soft-tuned guy. Oh, man, Kareem, you this dude. No, he was like, hey, get your butt down there and let's go. It's okay. It's two. There's all types of different styles of leadership, bro.
Just check it. How many times did Magic request a trade out of LA?
He didn't have to. Look who he's playing with.
Did Kobe do that?
Yes, because they look what they did to him. He was playing with Smush Parker. Kwame Brown.
I'm glad that you gave them names, Smush Parker, but he also played with Lamar Odom. He played with Paul Gasol. He played with Andrew Bynum. He played with players that were good after the Shaq era. And let's not pretend Andrew Bynum wasn't a beast for a few years for the Lakers.
For a few years, run, he was a problem. Then he went away. But out of Shaq and Paul Gasol, he played with role players, good role players. Magic played with guys that can go to any other team and be a number one. James Worthy took the most sacrifice, bro. Like they were saying, James Worthy could have been this number one option.
Freddie, I'm gonna help you out with something earlier. You said something earlier. I know we're in Lakers Talk 101 now.
No, wait, I don't know. You know how we got here. I forgot.
You brought it up because you were talking about the Clippers and you were saying that Russell Westbrook and James Harden are the same player. That's the reason I sped home to get on the show to let you know that how ridiculous that statement is. You said Russell Westbrook and James Harden are the same player?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Do you know what Russell Westbrook shoots from the field?
Horrible.
So do you know what James Harden shoots from the field?
Maybe a little bit better.
A little bit better?
Yeah.
Hold on. Why don't you try it? Why don't you take a shot?
Right under 50%.
Okay. So Russell Westbrook shot 29.6% from three for the Lakers, 29.8% from three for the Lakers. He shot 31% for the Wizards, 25% for the Rockets.
What about for the Clippers?
The Clippers, he only played for the last 20 games of the season. He shot 35% for the Clippers.
Oh, okay then. I mean, that's improvement.
James Harden shoots high 30s every year, 38.5% last year. They're not the same player. Do you want to go by assist? Do you want to look at what their numbers are distributing the basketball? Do you want to go over turnovers? Do you want to go by the times he turns the ball over per possession? The Clippers need a point guard. The only reason
James Harden.
The only reason Russell Westbrook looked so good at the end of last year was because Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were out, and he got to be Russ. He got to be, I'm going to drive, and I'm going to handle everything and be crazy Russ. When in reality, when he plays with other stars, he's terrible. He's terrible. The only time he's ever been good with another star is with Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City.
No, he was good with Paul George.
What, when they got knocked out in the first round by Dame?
But he still had that year. They still had like one of the really good year that year. I mean,
Okay.
he had Paul George to be an MVP candidate.
He had Paul George be an MVP candidate?
Yes.
I don't think Russell Westbrook can hold Paul George's jockstrap.
Gene, listen. If you notice, a lot of time when Russell, I don't like taking up for Russell Westbrook because I'm one of his biggest critics, especially when he's with LA.
Apparently not. You said he's the same player as James Harden.
He is. But if you look at all the players,
I think you just muted yourself, bro.
hello.
The mic knew that you were about to say some blasphemous stuff. The microphone knew that he was about to say some wild stuff, and it was just like, I'm done. I can't handle it no more. On another episode of Freddie Fiction here.
Man, I can't hear y'all, but
we can hear you. Keep going. Bye. Coach,
go ahead.
You know, Freddie Facts, me and Coach.
Yep. Freddie Facts.
Coach Gene on Freddie Facts.
Yep.
The only thing factual about the stuff he says is in his own head. It's factual. Yep. That's it.
No, I just like the moment I just thought for Magic to be the greatest Laker. I actually have Magic at number one because I did thought he made an impact. He came in as a guy right away, even with Kareem, and before he got there, I don't believe the Lakers were the greatest team before Magic got there. I think when Magic got there, the Lakers kind of elevated. It's kind of like having that quarterback of the NFL, and that's what I thought Magic was. He was the quarterback for the Lakers. And then the 92 season, I think the 91-92 season, the year that they played the Bulls in the finals, He didn't have Kareem, and they still was able to get to the finals. They still was able to get to the finals even without Kareem. Even without Kareem,
he did it at center. He played at center. Yep. Magic was incredible, but I don't have much time. I'm prepping for the show tonight, but I want to hop on and just tell Freddie how blasphemous he was. I think Freddie ran from me. That's I think what happened. I think Freddie got nervous that I hopped on. But Freddie, it's okay. I'm leaving.
I left for a second and Gene got rid of what happened, Gene? Gene got rid of Freddie.
Look, when I get on here and approach him with facts, he runs away.
Every time Gene is on with Freddie, we got to put out an APB.
Yo, listen, tune in to Wire to Wire tonight. We go live at 7 p.m.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, take care, man. Take care, man. So give me your other Lakers, Mo. What's your other Lake outside of Kareem?
So I had Magic, Kobe, Kareem, Jerry West, and Shaq.
Gotcha. Jerry West is an all-time great Laker. I do have Magic, Kobe, Shaq, Jerry West, and I kind of wanted to go. I already said Kareem, right?
You did.
I like the James Worthy though. I like the James Worthy. I like the big game.
I'm a fan, Coach.
I'm a big fan of Big Game James, man. He was on that finals team along with AC Green, that 91 season. I kind of liked it. And then, hey, man.
He's a bad man.
You say who?
When he's out in the open court, James Worthy was, I think he's underrated over when you think about all-time players. Mm-hmm. I agree with Freddie from this standpoint. James Worthy, had he gone to another franchise, could have been a number one option, probably would have been good enough to get a team into the playoffs, but he probably wouldn't have had the success he's had as a Laker or as a teammate.
Man, my mic is tripping. I don't know what it is, but I had to come back on here. Where'd Gene go? Come back, Gene. I'm just having fun. But listen, all I'm saying is Magic played with a whole lot more teammates, a whole lot more better teammates than Kobe did throughout his whole career. And that's facts.
He played in a different NBA too, Freddie.
Yes, and he had better teammates too, Mo.
And they had better competition. And they had better competition too.
I don't know about that. Kobe went up against a lot of great teams.
I do know about that. There's no team that Kobe went up against that people would rate against the 86 Celtics. Not one of those teams would be rated ahead of the 86 Celtics.
I'm not saying to be rated as higher, but
it is the greatest front line.
I'm just saying that I'm not saying that, Mo, but I'm saying that he played against great teams as well.
I'm just saying, but you're talking about the Celtics. You're talking about Isaiah's Pistons. You're talking about those Sixers. Like, there were squads, man.
Moses Malone. You talking about Keem Olajuwon, the Twin Towers, those guys. The teams were stacked back then. The teams was actually good. Throughout the 80s, throughout the 90s to 2000, the West had some pretty good play. That was pretty good.
Coach, think about Dallas. Derek Harper, Rolando Blackman, Jay Vincent, Mark Aguirre. Teams were loaded back then.
Yep. Yeah, even Dominique Wilkins. Wilkins.
They not ready. They not ready for that. They not ready for that conversation.
I didn't even see the comment. Must have missed it. Yeah, everybody had it easy. Okay.
But I'm just gonna finish my top five. Number one, I have Kobe. Number two, I have Magic. I believe Magic is very important with this being when he was playing, after he's playing, he's still important to us now. Number three, I have Kareem. What he meant to the game, what he meant to the Lakers, being our best player on the Showtime Lakers. Him, the unstoppable shot that nobody could ever stop. Will probably nobody ever do again as well. Number four, I have to go Jerry West. 10 straight finals. Him as a GM here, making the moves that he brought in, helping make sure that team, our Showtime team, was stacked. It was unbelievable. And then number five, I'm going to Elgin Baylor. A lot of people don't realize how good. A lot of people don't realize how good Elgin Baylor is. If Elgin Baylor won some championships, we'll be talking about him being a top two, top three greatest small forward of all time. That dude was, he was unstoppable. And my sixth man, I have to go Shaq in my sixth man. No knock on Shaq, but Shaq, he was here for not a long time, but he was here in this time. He did win 3 championships, but that's not a knockover on Shaq though.
Yep.
Cause I love Big Diesel.
Yep.
But Mo, you had me get a little heated, sir. I don't like getting heated.
Freddie, the way I see it is we all have our opinions and they're going to differ from time to time. But if you started thinking more like me, we could both be right.
Dang, Freddie.
Well,
There we go,
Mo,
Mo.
sometimes, you see, I'm gonna tell you, it's like back in the day, you go sit by your grandpa and you learn little things, but you had to listen. You had to listen to learn because they be dropping that meat, they be dropping that knowledge. And when you come on these shows and you just listen to what I say and you just meditate on it, you be much better. You be much better, my brother. And you more better. You be more better.
Hey, we do need Chase to come on the show again and see we have Joel Embiid. See, we go put Joel.
Hey, this dude put Joel Embiid number 10 on his top 10 players
Of all time?
No, he put him
Up to today.
in the NBA right now. He put him in the NBA right now. He laughed about it too.
I mean, he won the MVP. I don't know.
He laughed about it. It was funny what he just did, though. It was just funny. That was crazy. Yeah.
But other than that, you guys, I've been making Mo run I'm making him run off the street all day long. But we're not gonna say nothing about that. But hey, this is another great episode of Freddie Facts. I want to thank my brother Coach Dante for coming on. I want to thank Mo for coming on. Thank Gene for coming on. Man, you guys, Sports Empire is killing it. Numbers are going crazy right now.
Yeah.
But hey, let's just keep grinding, you guys.
Yes, sir. Let's keep grinding, man. I'm thank you for having me on.
Man, Coach, anytime, you're the hardest working man in the media industry, brother. Nobody grinds hard as you do. I promise you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Other than that, y'all, we're out of here until next time.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.